Okay, so now I'm going to introduce a new concept called functions. So a function is basically a set of instructions for your program to execute, but it doesn't execute them immediately. So it's basically a good way to organize your code. You'll see in future videos how useful this can be. But for now, I'm just going to take the program that we made last time and I'm going to use it with a function in this tutorial. So we're using our meal program that we made last time. And so the way Python makes functions is it starts with the keyword def, or defining a new function. And every function needs a name, so we'll call this one calcmeal, for like calculate the meal. And so then after every function is going to be parentheses and a colon. So inside of the parentheses is basically where you can put variables. So if you define a variable, like this variable right here, meal, maybe you want to be able to use that variable inside of the function. So you can just copy and paste it right there. So now we have access to that variable inside of the function. So I want this function to basically do all the math. I don't want the math to be in the main part of the program. I want it to be in the function. So I'm just going to copy all of the math we did for the total cost, cut it, and paste it right in here. So you see how it's indented right here? That's how you know it's inside the function. So it has to be indented if it's inside the function. So this is inside the function, all the stuff is outside the function. Okay, so now that we've calculated the total cost inside of the function, now we have to return that total cost back to the main part of the program. Because right now the main part of the program doesn't know what total cost variable is because it's just inside the function. The main part of the program can't even access it until we do return total cost. So now the meal part, this is the same as normal. We're not going to have to change anything about that. But now we will make the total cost variable equals calc meal with meal. So basically what this line of code does is it makes a variable called total cost for the main part of the program, and it sets it to whatever the output of the function was. So in this case, the output of this function is the total cost, which we calculated up here. So now the main program knows what the total cost is, just like the function did. So now that we've defined that, we can basically see if I did everything right. If so, it'll just work the same way it did in the last video. So total cost $19, your total bill is $22.99. So it works exactly the same as it did in the last video, but the difference is we're using a function this time. We're storing all of our math that we're doing inside of the function. So you might think that, like, well, what's the point of that? We could just do it the easy way. But this is a much more organized way to have your code, especially in the future once we start making more complicated programs. For a simple program like this, it doesn't really matter if it has functions or not. But once we get to more complicated programs, it'll make a big difference. So that's our introduction to functions. So I'll see you in the next video.